Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode of Wise the Dome TV. Today, I have a very special guest. You've definitely seen him on the show before. You've probably seen him on his own show as well. Black Red Guard, man. I thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me on again.
Oh,
Glad to be back.
absolutely. It's always dope to talk to you, man. Today, all right. So we had some other things that scheduled to talk about, but today the execution of Marcellus Khalifa Williams. How are you feeling?
I mean, it's raining outside, so Allah is not pleased.
Mm,
Um, I mean, they literally lynched this man. Like, I read the transcript that, like, Wesley Bell, the guy that took Cory Bush's seat,
hmm
like, his janky ass literally put out a statement saying that, hey, basically the summation was this guy didn't do this stuff. So if Wesley Bell, the St. Louis County prosecutor,
hmm,
is casting doubt on this, then like you need to you need to rethink some things. But all the legal avenues were exhausted. They even went all the way up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, you know what, fuck this guy. Governor Parson is a former cop.
hmm,
So obviously he will not miss the opportunity to execute a black person.
hmm,
Um, I mean, this just shows the limitations of like petitions, phone calls. Like these people go to the country club and they laugh at us
hmm,
over rock and rye because we are so weak
hmm,
in this country. Like the left has to get its teeth back. The black liberation movement has to get its teeth back, like laying down in the street, marching, etc. I mean, that's good to get people into the movement, but like the question is, how are we going to prevent things like this from happening in the future?
hmm.
Like it's bad for your mental health
Absolutely.
to constantly try to organize against these things, and yet at the end of the day, here you are standing outside a courthouse, and here comes 6 o'clock. Okay, they killed him.
Hmm,
Now what? So we owe it to our political prisoners because every black person in this country, well, save for P. Diddy and R. Kelly, is a political prisoner.
hmm,
Every black person that's executed is not, this is not a legal execution. This is a state sanctioned lynching, a state sanctioned murder.
hmm.
So we have to center that analysis before we start organizing, and we have to move accordingly, and we have to carry that message to the masses that they are literally killing us in these prisons. They're literally killing us in these jails, and it won't stop until we stop it.
Absolutely. And uh, like you said, unless you're a black man in this country or black woman in this country, you don't know what it feels like to constantly see these types of stories, these types of images. It's something new. It's something new all the time. And it's just the ones that, and these are just the ones that people find out about and rally behind. But it's something like this happening all the time. And the idea of, you know, like what are our psyches like? You know what I'm saying? Like, and like it just it makes you think, man. Like we're literally walking around with PTSD, like a combat veteran. You know what I mean? Because we know every day that we step outside that we are walking into a war zone. You know what I'm saying? And we are behind enemy lines. To just to have that understanding and to go about your everyday life like it's normal. Like it's crazy, you know?
Yeah, like again, there's a lot of well-meaning white, non-black, whatever comrades, but I don't think they get the hell that we live under. Like, I'm in DSA. DSA is a
hmm
majority white organization. Like, there's a lot of work that we have to do if we work within these organizations that are majority white, like DSA, um, Frizzo, all these different groups. Like their base is basically white college kids, white downwardly mobile professionals. So in many cases, again, these people are very well meaning. Like I would never degrade my comrades, but I should not have to hit you all up to be like, hey, this is we're the St. Louis chapter of DSA. Can we share this post about Marcellus Williams? Like I should not go to my chapter's I should not go to my chapter's Twitter page and hit search up Marcellus Williams and there's no post made about
Mm,
him.
mhm,
Like this is literally happening in our state. Like that's why um we had our convention uh night before last. And I'm on the executive board, basically like the executive body of the St. Louis chapter of Democratic Socialists of America.
mhm.
But I'm running for like we're going to meet and parcel out the roles in a few days. But like one of the reasons that I'm running for co-chair is because like we can't just have like this is a half black city. Like I'm simply not going to accept two white men dictating the organization of DSA. Like one of us needs to be black.
Right,
And since I'm the only black person running for co-chair, I guess that should be me.
right.
And I also want a non-male comrade, white or otherwise. Like we can't just keep doing this. White people, white men in particular,
Mhm.
um, in majority black cities, setting up and running leftist organizations, and then like nothing is done. Like I should not be the only black person at a DSA meeting, the largest socialist organization in the United States. I should not be the only black person there. Like that's a sign that your organization is fucking up, and it's a sign that your organization is not attractive to black people. Why is our organization not attractive to black people? Maybe we should investigate that.
Mm,
So
right.
definitely a lot of work to do. I see why a lot of brothers and sisters do not want to work in these types of organizations because like you got to put up with a lot of microaggressions, a lot of rudeness, a lot of condescending behavior. But fuck it, I'm here for the revolution, and I'm black in America. So
Yeah, yeah, real talk, man. Did you so I know it's probably happened maybe what a week ago, but these things hit news cycles so fast and they leave so fast. But um Angela Davis and uh
yeah.
she came out in support of Kamala Harris, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting how some people seem surprised. I don't understand how that would how that would surprise anyone at this point, given her history. But what were your thoughts whenever you saw her come out? Because it gives the idea that radicals are and people in the Black liberation struggle are in support of Kamala and the Democratic Party.
Well, Angela Davis doesn't speak for anybody but Angela Davis. Um, and like if you study and pay attention to the things that she's done over the past 2 decades, like her radical credentials, while they are still there, like I actually made a post on Twitter about this.
Hmm.
Basically, like we don't, as revolutionaries, as Black liberation theorists and practitioners, like we do not practice idol worship.
Right.
And a lot of more are more bourgeois liberal, radical liberal comrades. They seem inclined to view Angela Davis as a sort of goddess.
Mm,
Like, no, we have to take into account people's like the shit that people have been through. Like, why is Angela Davis transformed herself from a radical, from a revolutionary, dare I say, into a bourgeois liberal? Like, you have to consider the context in which she politically developed. Like, she was around the Black Panther Party, she was around the CPUSA, which has been garbage since my grandmother was a little girl. Um, so if you are a person like Angela Davis who sees all of your comrades in arms, like she loved George Jackson, like they were partners for a bit. So you see your partner get cut down. You see all of the people that you attended political education meetings with, all the brothers and sisters that you went to the free food program with, like you see all of them getting shot or driven into exile or murdered. Yeah, I would feel some type of way too. That's why we have to root ourselves in revolutionary proletarian ideals. We have to root ourselves in the masses. Angela Davis has spent most of her life. I mean, not saying that she wasn't an activist in her own right or a revolutionary theoretician in her own right, but we have to consider the context in which she was developed. Like she came out of a pretty bougie academic background, so that had a lot of influence in why her politics are so wishy washy.
yeah.
But do I still respect Angela Davis? Yes, she is a radical elder.
Right.
and she's gone through things that would break the average person. So we definitely have to give her flowers there. But at the same time, we should not be idol worshippers that that don't realize the Maoist dictum that things can transform into their opposite.
Mm, right. I think that's the perfect answer. One thing that I I really thought was very interesting, and I wanted to kind of see what when AOC began to have the back and forth with Jill Stein. Um, a lot of people felt that this was a sign of the Democratic Party actually seeing Jill Stein and the Green Party as an actual threat. Um, do you think that is the case?
I do. Like the how many times has AOC mentioned the Green Party
Right.
Democrat polling found out that Jill Stein was biting into the Muslim vote
Hmm.
in several key swing states, like Michigan especially is going to be a battleground. And we also have to talk about the treason of the uncommitted leaders who are basically like they've been wishy-washy. This is why we have to have a firm rooting in the working class masses of Palestinian, Arab, and Muslim people. Like also many Muslims in the United States are black.
Right.
So what the Democrats do not want, because black people are basically the last pillar of this grand coalition that started to be built under FDR. Like you look at the Hispanic vote, the Hispanics are split. A lot of them are Republican, basically, especially Cubans
Hmm.
and some of the more conservative Mexican Chicano people who have been here for quite a while. So Hispanics are not like they feel that they cannot rely on Hispanic vote. The white vote is obviously split.
Hmm.
The white woman vote is split. Like if I recall correctly, in 2016, more white women voted for Donald Trump than voted for Hillary Clinton, their sister. So Democrats are going to be in big trouble if
Right.
they lose a substantial portion of black people. And like if you look from election season to election season, like Trump is the best performing Republican among black people. If I recall correctly, the last poll I saw it said that between 18 and 20% of black people are seriously considering voting for Donald Trump.
Mm.
Why is that? Because I mean, um, a lot of our men in particular, like Donald Trump hangs out with rappers. He's also a racist piece of shit, but he knows how to pander. He knows how to play to a crowd. He knows how to play to an audience. Like he's been hitting Kamala on her credentials within the black community.
Hmm.
And the Democrats, they don't have any response. Like they had Megan Thee Stallion twerking in Atlanta on stage.
And Lil
Um,
John.
Little John, his old washed up ass. I haven't even thought about that dude since fucking high school.
Right.
So yeah, all they needed was the Yin Yang twins, but I don't
Yeah.
think they vote. Uh, but so yeah, they have all of this pandering stuff, and they think that black people are stupid.
Right.
They think that, oh, she had Megan Thee Stallion up there, I'm gonna vote for her. Look at the stunt they pulled at the convention. They
Mm.
had cops up there.
Yeah.
One of the biggest demands in Atlanta, the capital of black people in the United States, is Stop Cop City.
Absolutely.
So why would you have a literal cop up there? You bumped the
Hmm.
Palestinian state senator from Georgia off for a cop. You had AOC up there embarrassing herself. Like AOC is an embarrassment to DSA and to the socialist movement that she claims to be part of. AOC is not a socialist. AOC is a liberal Democrat.
Yeah.
AOC is to the right of Bernie Sanders and Jesse Jackson.
Right. Right. Right.
They had Jesse Jackson's old miserable looking ass out there. He probably didn't even know what was
He.
going on.
Yeah.
He's basically Black Biden at this point.
Right.
But they know that black people respect our elders. So that's why they keep doing this. Like they had Oprah Winfrey there for whatever fucking reason. And like it's just pandering, pandering, pandering. There's nothing concrete that's going to help black people. So what the Democrats do not want black people to do is do research. They don't want us finding out about PSL. They don't want us finding out about the Green Party. And yes, the Green Party does have problems. There's a lot of like, if I recall correctly, like a lot of those people are cranks. They're people that like a bunch of crunchy hippie types. I mean, it's literally called the Green Party.
Right.
But I really, really like and respect her running mate, Butch Ware.
Yeah, me
Like they've
too.
been running Jill Stein for years. Like, why aren't you
Hmm.
running like run Butch? Like if
Hmm.
they ran Butch Ware, I guarantee you they would take a substantial chunk out of the black vote because that brother is brilliant.
He is. He is. And so I wanted to ask you, so is I haven't checked any polls or anything recently, but do you think because obviously we saw Jill Stein and Butch Ware on the Breakfast Club, right? Um I don't think we would have saw that 4 years ago. Um
Mm-mm.
so what do you think is the cause of the surge in popularity of the Green Party?
Well, it's because people are sick of the Democrats, they're sick of the Republicans, like they're sick of this ping pong game every 2 or 4 years.
Hmm.
Like people, working people, especially like work the main thing that a lot of people believe, even on the left, is that working people are stupid.
Hmm.
They think that we just have to fill their heads with the right ideas
Hmm.
and they will automatically come on to us. Like working people, colonized people, they have their own agency.
Hmm.
They are capable of making rational decisions. So why are you running a little prosecutor? Like you know that black people suffer at the hands of prosecutors, including Kamala Harris. I mean, for fuck's sake, they just executed a man based on the case that was made by a racist prosecutor. Like this case should have been revisited years ago.
Hmm.
Like he literally struck a guy from the jury because he wore glasses and he was around Khalifa's age.
Wow.
So you've got prosecutors that are literally willing to execute people for no reason. Why are you running a prosecutor? And
Right.
then like nobody voted like if I recall correctly in the 2020 primary, Kamala Harris did not win a single state.
Nah, sure.
So
Her numbers were extremely low. Like,
so yeah. So
yeah.
this is an entirely astroturfed candidate that was literally coronated because Joe Biden was pressured to drop out by the money people.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you coronate this lady, you foist her off on us. We don't know shit about her. She didn't even have any policies on her website until, like, if I recall correctly, a month after it was announced that she was going to be replacing Biden on the ticket.
Hmm.
She doesn't offer anything for us. So people are going to start investigating alternative options. The Green Party is doing really, really well with getting ballot access in many states. Like she's on the ballot. Jill Stein and the Butch Ware
Hmm.
are on the ballot in my state. I plan on voting for them in November.
Hmm.
So, like, it's these contradictions are just showing how um how fucked up this country is. Like, if we're supposed to be a democracy, why are the Democrats constantly suing and
Right.
dragging the Green Party into court to keep them off the ballot?
Right. Because
Like, I
it's
thought that, yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
I was just gonna say it's just like because they have to give this illusion that this current duopoly is all that is these are the only options and these will always be the only options, right? It's like a controlled opposition type of thing. And we're
Yep.
looking and the thing that tripped me out is you during that debate they fight and argue over these very small trivial things that nobody cares about. But when it comes to something like Gaza, they don't really debate much because hey, we're on the same side when it comes
Yep.
to that, right? And so, do you think with things like what's happening in Gaza with the genocide, what's happening in the Congo, what's happening in Haiti, what happened with brother Marcellus Khalifa Williams, do you think all this is also leading people away from both parties and radicalizing voter bases that may have been, Democrat or Republican before?
Definitely.
Hmm.
Like I said before, like people are not stupid. Like I was talking to my coworkers about Marcellus Williams, and one of them noted that Kamala Harris has not said a mumbling word about this man.
Haven't
Not a
said
word.
anything. Hmm.
Like you are constantly talking about how black you are. Like shit, a lot of black people don't even believe you're black.
Yeah.
So if you want to lean into your blackness, then you should be talking about this, brother. But then that would raise up the contradiction that you are a prosecutor and you sent innocent black men to jail too.
Right. Right.
You sent innocent black men to jail too. So she does not want to raise that contradiction. And of course, like, why are we not talking about Trump? Because going back to Malcolm's analogy, Trump is the wolf.
Yeah. We already know
Yeah,
what he
Trump.
is, right?
Yeah, we already know
Yeah.
what he is. He's gonna be like, yeah, hang them all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
already know. We already know what that's about. So we
Mm.
have to focus on the tricky, sneaky Democrats who pose as our friends. They have our favorite cultural figures come out
Hmm.
and support them. Like one thing that I'll give Chappelle Roan, like I used to despise her, but her new song, Good Luck Baby, is actually really, really good.
Mm.
But anyways, she's also from Missouri. She's from a bit further to the south than I am. But
Hmm.
she literally said that, hey, I'm not endorsing either candidate. Like there's stupid shit on both sides.
Yeah.
And like
I saw that.
all of her white pseudo radical, pseudo socialist fans came out and like, oh my God, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw that.
So
I saw that.
yeah, same thing. Macklemore,
Hmm.
endorsing low, he's not endorsing either candidate. So it seems like a lot of these basically a lot of these like white pop figures are fighting with their audiences. I
Hmm.
mean, like I had before Hins Hall, I hadn't even thought about Macklemore since like 2012.
Right, right,
But
right.
but yeah, that just shows how people who are pretty big in the culture owe a responsibility to have good political positions. Like um that's why I'm so disappointed in Meg the Stallion
Hmm.
because she's an idol to an entire generation of black people, black women, black young women in particular.
Hmm.
And she's not dumb.
Yeah.
She is not dumb. And you have the responsibility knowing that people look up to you. Never mind sexy red stupid ass. I don't even claim her from St. Louis anymore. But like it's the job of black people who have cultural prestige. And our culture is global.
Hmm.
So if Meg the Stallion says something, then people in Japan, people in Germany are going to see it. So don't just sit on your wealth. Don't just sit on your clout and say stupid shit or be like, oh, I got to hang out with the vice president today. Like
Hmm.
you have to actually investigate. You have to actually study, and you owe a responsibility to your audience to not mislead them.
Mm. Right, right. Did you see like because I saw that with who was it? What is it? Katy Perry or
Taylor
who
Swift.
Taylor Swift. They all the
I
same to me.
see. I
They
mixed.
all the same to me.
I mixed them up. I
Yeah.
mixed them up too.
Yeah, okay, good, good, good. So it ain't just me. But yeah, like Taylor Swift. So they yeah, like a lot of her fan base turned on her for her, I guess, political views with Kamala, but it's so weird that I guess, I guess it's America, man, and I guess it's the age of the internet where everything like you said is global and the spotlight is everywhere, but the amount of influence and cultural cachet a lot of these pop stars have, they can just say one thing and then, their fans will fall in line. So I do agree that it is extremely important for them to have some type of political education, but there's nothing that I would expect from them, to be honest with you, bro, because I feel like that clout that they get from being invited to these parties and being able to rub shoulders with the Obamas and get on the Barack Obama playlist like that, like it makes them feel like they're actually doing something, right? But anyone with any type of radical politics, um, especially as big as the people that we've named, you would have to think that eventually there would be an attempt to silence them in some way or another. Like even look at like I don't know how many subs. Africa streams had, but it was enough to get the government's attention, and they were like, gave them the axe real quick, man.
Yeah,
When you,
Red Stream that, a lot of which are I'm friends with a lot of Red Stream that and Africa Stream. Like Anthony Blinken, the Secretary
yeah,
of State, literally called them out by name. So
wow,
they're afraid of subversive media.
mm,
Like if we a couple days ago, like Al Jazeera is not subversive media by any stretch of the word. Like it's literally partly owned by the Qatari government.
hmm
But in Nablus, or was it Ramallah? I don't know. In the West Bank, um, the like literally while they were live, Israeli troops kicked in their door and literally they put them out of their station, and it said that they can't broadcast for like 2 months. Like so, and they know that Al Jazeera is what a lot of people watch to get news from the Middle East.
hmm
So, and then a couple days later, they start here. They go. First, they did the whole pager situation
yeah, in Lebanon,
in Lebanon, and now they're bombing Lebanon. Like I
yeah,
saw this, people were thinking that they were using tactical nukes on Lebanon, but I don't think that was the case. It has used very, very large, high yield explosives. But like they're basically fucking up Lebanon. They have literally declared war on this country. Netanyahu's lying ass was on Twitter saying that this is not a war on Lebanon. Yes,
now
it
what
is.
is it then, right? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
like
saying?
if Mexico started bombing Texas after blowing up everybody's cell phone in Houston, then would we be saying that it was not an invasion of the United States?
Of course we would.
Yeah, of course not. We'd have turned Mexico City into rubble
Right,
by now. But because these are brown people, because these are a struggling people, because they have Hezbollah, which is a revolutionary people's organization that is offering material assistance and aid to their Muslim brothers in occupied Palestine. Same reason why they're attacking Yemen. Why are they attacking this poor country, the poorest country in the Middle East? Because they have a principled stand and they're willing to sacrifice themselves so that Palestine may live.
mm,
So, and people keep talking, oh, the Israeli government controls that. No, the tail does not wag the dog. Israel is a very, very vehement tail of the United States. That's why we're selling them weapons. That's why we're sending them money. Same thing with Ukraine and Russia. Why are we dumping all these weapons and shit on Ukraine? Like, why
right,
did Russia invade Ukraine in the first place? I'm not a fan of either country, but it's like if Mexico wanted to join BRICS or wanted to join a Chinese Russian military alliance, I don't think the United States would be very happy about that either.
right.
So that was the Russian justification for invading Ukraine. Do I think that Russia should have invaded Ukraine? Absolutely not. I don't think one country has the right to invade another guy's country after hacking off bits of it.
Yeah,
But I mean, this is the world we live in. It's geopolitical log rolling. So
yeah. The one thing that was interesting during one of those DNC conventions that was a pretty much a political circus was this whole idea, and she said it outside of the convention, and people seem to be actually believing it and going with it. But the idea where Kamala said that they will not stop funding Israel and helping Israel defend itself, but then we'll say we're pushing for a ceasefire. So like how do you get how how does that work? How do you give the bully or the colonizer weapons and say, hey, we're trying to stop the violence? Like I don't understand I don't understand that, man. It's crazy.
because they're not trying to stop the violence. That's why I laugh at these people, many of which are in DSA. Although, to be fair, I'm seeing less and less of them as Kamala shows more and more on whose side she really is. But like a couple months ago, people were like, oh, we could push Kamala on a ceasefire. Like how?
Right.
Like how exactly? And then the thing that gets me is a lot of people, AOC in particular, have been attacking the Green Party. But one of the specific goals of a lot of people in my organization in DSA is that we want to have an independent workers party.
Hmm.
We don't want to be chained to the Democrats. We don't want to be using the Democrat ballot line forever because that is a contradiction. That is confusing a lot of people. People ask, if y'all are socialists, then how are y'all Democrats too?
Mm.
So if that's our future goal, then why the hell would you attack the Green Party at the instigation? Like the Democrats literally have people that they pay to do this. That's why they're suing the Green Party to keep them off the ballot. So if you are not a Democrat at heart, if you believe that we need an independent workers' party in the United States, then why the fuck would you join the Democrats
Mm.
in attacking the Greens? Like that
Right.
doesn't make any sense. Like the same attacks that you're making on the Greens in 20 years when we have our own party and the Democrats are basically going the way of the know nothing party in 20 years, they're going to attack us the same way.
Mm.
So we have to be, when you do politics, when you discuss politics, like people pay attention.
Hmm.
People are going to be able to see through your contradictions. People are going to be able to see through your bullshit.
Yeah.
So one of the main lessons that I learned from Amilcar Cabral and Mao Zedong both is that we should not tell any lies. We should not claim any easy victories because
Mm.
when you do those things, the masses are going to come to you next time you go to them because you want something. You want them to vote for some dog shit candidate, and they're going to be like, "You lied to us."
Mm.
Like, look, yeah, I remember y'all was here 4 years ago. You told us to vote for so and so. We voted for so and so. Now I ain't got put out my apartment. My baby ain't got no food.
Hmm.
I'm about to lose my job. They repossessed my car. My life ain't got no better. Now here you come again 4 years later with another piece of shit. Get the fuck out my face. That's what the people are going to say to you. And we deserve that. That's said to us because we lied to them. We told
Mm.
them that their lives are going to get better. And
Hmm.
whatever kind of candidate that we got into Congress or the State House do, they sold them out. They started log rolling and they started shoveling money into their pockets, just like every other politician in the United States.
Mm. Right. You know, um, I've it's one thing that I guess I'm always um intrigued by, I would say, anytime you critique one of these guys, right? Whether you're some type of critique on Trump, which again, most of us don't really waste time doing that because we know exactly what he is. It is the Fox, the Democratic Party, that we focus a lot of our attention on because, as you stated, and as Malcolm stated, they are slick. You have to be, they are cunning. You have to be on point. To peep exactly what they're doing. So a lot of the critique that we have is for the Democratic Party. Also, it's because most of our people, most of the people who feel like they want to do the right thing are in this party as far as the voter base, right? Um, but anytime you critique the Democratic Party, the first thing that you hear is, oh, you must want Donald Trump to win. Oh, you must be a Donald Trump guy. And I'm just so surprised at how people, like, their whole paradigm is a political paradigm is this duopoly, is this American duopoly of Democrat and Republican, and anything outside of that is just a figment of our imagination. I saw a picture of a protester somewhere. I'm paraphrasing her sign. I'm pretty sure you saw it too, where she said, you know, dream bigger than voting for a Democrat like genocide enabler or something like that. It was something of that, right? But this idea that people can't dream or envision, their imagination won't allow them to see anything past the Democratic Party or the Republican Party is extremely concerning and fascinating, because there's a whole world outside of these two political parties. There's there are eh, the American citizens themselves are in large suffering from a lot of the same things, whether
Yeah.
it be, wage slavery, uh, uh, unable to pay rent, the price gouging of basic goods, all types of things, right? Environmental concerns. And we continue to look at the people that are in large part being funded or themselves the people that are causing these issues as the people that are going to save us from these issues. And I just don't understand how people can't really see out at this point with all the information that we have. And I do think it's happening more this cycle than I've ever seen with Butch, the popularity of Butch Ware and Jill Stein growing, and then you also with Claudia De La Cruz, and I seen her on a do a few interviews on some pretty decent sized platforms, and also even I guess Cornel West in a sense, right? Um, but the majority of us
I
are.
forgot all about Cornell.
Yeah, yeah. He was there for a minute, but um
Yeah,
I think him running and some did bring a spotlight to certain issues just due to the fact that he has such a name and he was talking you know being against empire, right? And
yeah.
uh eh,
I heard him speak at my freshman year of university. He spoke. This was my freshman year of university was 2014. So this was right after Mike Brown was killed, and all types of people were coming to St. Louis. We had Al Sharpton's bobblehead ass. We had Jesse Jackson, and Cornell. Actually, my whole family came. Chaffetz Arena at St. Louis University, my alma mater,
Mhm.
and I will. He is a very, very enthralling speaker.
Oh yeah.
I'll never forget him. He quoted one of my favorite Sly and the Family Stone songs. Actually, there's a perm and a crease in your right and wrong. So
Yeah,
that's one of
yeah.
my main. Yeah,
But see
that's
that's what I wanted to say, right? So like you already I mean, well, for the average American voter, how do we get them to see outside of just Democrat and Republican Party, or is that even possible at this point?
well, as a dialectical materialist, I believe that anything is possible. Well, it's
Absolutely.
not possible. It's not possible to hatch a chicken from a rock, because the basis
Right.
because the basis of the rock is different. But a lot of communists in the United States, a lot of socialists in the United States, a lot of leftists in the United States, they don't understand dialectical materialism.
Hmm.
They don't understand that night becomes day, day becomes night. Day is the process of giving birth to night. Night is the process of giving birth to day. So that's why they make things like, oh, we're all screwed. We're all going to die from climate change. The white working class will never ever rise up. Like American working class is entirely used to that. These are nihilistic, petty bourgeois statements.
Yeah,
So, as a dialectical materialist, I believe that anything is possible, provided we are willing to put in the work,
yeah.
provided we are willing to really, really integrate ourselves thoroughly into the masses of the people. Because if we don't integrate ourselves into the masses of the people, of course, the people are not going to join DSA or any other left organization. Of course, people are going to go on voting for Democrats and Republicans. They have a leg up on us in terms of propaganda. Should they, like, anytime you turn on MSNBC, CNN, or Fox News, you get either the Democrat or the Republican Party line. Like, you turn
Hmm.
on MSNBC, you see Rachel Maddow having a nervous breakdown over Russia. You turn on Fox News, you see you go on Tucker Carlson's show, you see him having a nervous breakdown over drag queens.
Right.
So it's a lot of histrionics. It's a lot of soundbite shit. That's how American politics is.
Yeah.
American politics, like everything else in this godforsaken country, is 100%. It's a product. It's a
Hmm.
product that you consume. You either consume the Democrat product or you consume the Republican product.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we have to get people, like, we have to teach people how to think. George
Hmm.
Jackson said that capitalism is a what to think ideology. Socialism is a how to think ideology. So we have to teach people how to actually really analyze and read between the lines because these people will promise you anything. And the thing is, Americans know that all politicians lie,
Yeah.
but they keep falling for it.
Yeah. That is one
Like
thing that that is one thing that they all know that politicians are liars and you can't trust them. But at the
Mhm.
end of the day, I mean, it seems like, but you kind of mentioned corporate media, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. It has such a stronghold on the average American. Maybe not the young folks as much, but
Yeah,
as go
because
ahead.
we get most of our news from Twitter.
Yeah, facts. But I think obviously that propaganda machine is doing what it does. It's doing a great job of, but you like you said, it politics is a lot. I saw a documentary recently of it was this white guy whose his father was um I guess like a liberal Democrat all of his life for the most part. And when he got older in age, I guess by the kids are all out of the house and he's probably retired or um making ends meet, but probably barely, right? He begins to start watching Fox News and it just like turns him into a whole different person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he begins to obviously, blame immigrants or, black folks or whatever, whoever the easy target Fox News was giving him at that time on why he didn't have the things that he, thought he should have. And I wonder how many stories are like that. You know what I mean? I guess even on both
It's
sides.
it's quite a few.
Mm,
Like um like you have people who are liberals whose parents are like obsessed with Russia.
mm, mm,
Like you literally cannot make a progressive political statement without some liberal accusing you of being a Russian interloper.
yeah.
And yeah, like you have the Uhuru Three.
Hmm.
Like I'm not by any means a fan of the Uhuru movement or the African People's Socialist Party, but at the same time, like there's no way that they should be incarcerating Omali Yeshitela. The man is in his 80s for
Right.
fuck's sake.
Right.
There's no reason. Like these old ass people do not pose a threat to the United States.
Right. And but how,
Um,
but look, I remember when this first started going down, media, when mainstream media got it, they were talking about Russian influence. Blinken, whenever he mentioned Africa streams, Russian influence. Do people really believe that at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's
because
a hangover.
yeah,
It's
they've
a
been doing
hangover. It's a hangover. Yeah, it's a hangover from the Cold War. Like
right.
people literally still believe that Russia is the Soviet Union.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was talking to outside the DSA convention, I was talking about socialism with some black unhoused brothers and sisters outside, some black elders
Hmm.
that are outside, and I mentioned that where this is a democratic socialist meeting, that a lot of them seem very intent on going and taking the beer, but I was trying to explain to them like when I see other black people in public in a majority white setting, like I get happy, like I
Hmm.
actually want to diversify DSA. Like DSA is only last time I checked only 4% black.
Mm. Hmm.
So um I love diversifying these organizations because socialism is for the poor. It's for those who don't have shit. Anyways, and I mentioned that this is a socialist organization. And she's like, "Ain't that what Trump is? Ain't he a Russian?" And I'm like, I'm like, no, man. I'm like, no, ma'am. Trump is not a Russian. Trump is actually Trump is actually Trump is Trump is actually ethnically German and Scottish. So he's not a
Mhm.
Russian, and he is certainly not a communist. Like
Mhm.
anti-communism is one of his major bread and butter issues.
Yeah, yeah. But
So,
wait, but no,
but
you're right. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's again, like I've seen people say, well, we see the right often say, well, Kamala Harris is a Marxist or communist. And I'm like, damn, do these people even know what communism or Marxism is? Because
Her
if
dad
they,
is.
right, I know her dad is, right? But you see, they brought that up too. That's one of the first things they tried to bring up
What is
because
it? What is it with communists and making shitty parents? Like,
I don't-
ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world. I'm a whole ass Maoist.
and your
Ain't no
and
way in
your
the world. Ain't
and
no
your
way in the
child's
world.
an imperialist, ready genocide enabler. Like, come on,
No,
man.
no, that little motherfucker would have been an abortion.
You crazy, man.
He would have been. He would have been. Yeah, that would have been a postpartum abortion right there.
You
40
crazy.
abortion, 40 years too late. But same thing. Pete Buttigieg,
Mm-hmm.
the Secretary of Transportation, the little rat face dude. His dad his dad actually translated Gramsci
Really?
into English. His dad was a Marxist. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
Where
a
are they
couple of
from?
the Buttigieg,
Hmm.
they're from they're Maltese by ethnicity, but they're from Indiana.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, like their ethnicity. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're basically Italian Arabs.
Hmm.
Anyways, um, so yeah,
Well, all right.
yeah.
So, being in the DSA, what is there like an official position on this election from the DSA?
There is not.
Mm,
There's like tens of thousands of people in DSA, and no, we haven't endorsed a candidate. We have endorsed terrorists, and we sure as fuck haven't endorsed Trump. I'm certain that some of the far right wing within DSA would love for us to endorse Kamala Harris. Like there's a caucus called North Star. They're basically a bunch of old white men and like one Dominican, Cuban, whatever, weird ass 20 something dude from Florida.
mhm.
But like I'm pretty sure those people want us to endorse Kamala Harris, but no, we're not going to endorse a candidate in this election. Some of our people are very adamant about opposing Jill Stein because they still want us to take
Hmm.
orders from the Democrats, or I don't know. People are very good at deluding themselves. Like they think that they're playing four-dimensional chess, meantime they're playing checkers.
Yeah.
But no, DSA is not going to endorse either major presidential candidate in the 2024 presidential election.
So there are some people in DSA that are using the talking points of AOC
Oh yeah,
to go at Jill Stein and Butch Ware for the Green Party.
yeah.
Wow.
The thing with DSA is that a lot of people are in caucuses. They're
Hmm.
basically groups of people, informal groups of people. I mean, they have websites and stuff,
Hmm.
but and like when convention time, like national convention times comes, like you can vote for a slate of caucus candidates.
Hmm.
For example, in New York City, you've got Emerge, which I like. You've got Groundwork, you've got Socialist Majority Caucus, you've got Red Star, who I love, you've got Mug, who I disagree with, but they're all pretty cool people. You've got Libertarian Socialist Caucus, who I dig. You've got Commie Caucus, who I love. Like, there's a lot of different groups. One thing I like about DSA is even though it's not racially diverse, it's very ideologically diverse.
Yeah, I see
So
that. And so, but how does that coalesce into one organization when there's so much diversity in ideology?
because it's a Big Ten. It's a Big
Hmm.
Ten organization. Like I'm a Maoist. I'm in DSA. If I
Hmm.
wanted to, I could find other Maoists across the country and organize a Maoist caucus.
Hmm.
Um, so it's a Big Ten.
Hmm.
As long as you abide by like the basic principles of the organization, then like you're good. And it's really hard to get kicked out of DSA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's not like PSL where if you look at a member of the central committee the wrong way, they'll put you out.
Mm.
It's really hard to get kicked out of DSA.
What about and so obviously you're very familiar with the criticism, which I don't really understand, but the criticism of calling Jill Stein predatory because she just pops up.
Predatory.
They say she just pops up every 4 years to disrupt things, right? That's what AOC was saying, and I see a lot of people have begun to run with that. Even Angela Rye, I think, probably kind of.
Oh, fuck her. Jill Stein actually showed up. Jill Stein actually showed up in my city. She showed up in St. Louis when the whole encampment movement was strong.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the richest, most expensive private university in the state of Missouri, Washington University. There were some comrades who tried to establish an encampment there. Several of them were my friends that were brutalized and arrested.
Wow.
Jill Stein was among them.
Wow.
So was
Hmm.
Megan Green, the president of the St. Louis Board of Aldermen, who was also a member of STL-DSA, and Alicia Saunier. So um, like predatory how? Like if I recall correctly, Jill Stein is a doctor, so she
Hmm.
has a job,
Hmm.
and she also is very active in her community. So
Right.
that's just opportunism. Like when was the last time you saw AOC handing out food to unhoused people? Butch Ware did it on Skid Row in LA a few weeks ago.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's not a publicity stunt. Like he was like, look, don't tell people I'm here. This is what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
AOC on the other hand, AOC on the other hand, like
She's gonna
she,
take a photo and pose and
yeah,
everything. Yeah.
yeah. I'll never forget that stupid picture of her
I
crying at the
I
migrant detention
hated it.
center.
I hated it.
So
I hated
yeah,
it. It's
they
so
need
fake.
they could find other better people to accuse Jill Stein and the Greens of being
Hmm.
opportunists. And keep in mind that AOC is literally a member of DSA. So I'm literally like that
So
just shows the amount of ideological diversity that DSA has. Like I can literally talk about another member of my organization this way.
and I think that's the that may be confusing to some people to see how a member of the DSA who are socialists, how one could be in the game already and become so establishment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's could be, I mean, a lot of people will find that extremely confusing.
There's a lot of people within the organization are confused about what socialism is.
Mm,
Like I keep telling people, the goal of socialism is not to make everybody middle class.
right.
The goal of socialism is not to maintain the declining standard of living of useless petty bourgeois white professionals with email jobs.
Right.
The goal of socialism, like words mean things. Postmodernism has taught us that words don't mean things. Words mean things. Socialism is a transitory stage to communism.
Communism. Yep.
So if you are not a communist, you cannot be a socialist.
Mm,
You can be a radical liberal. You can
mm,
want to redistribute more of this empire's stolen wealth to various groups of people. You can be a paternalist that thinks that the government should be a nanny state.
mm,
Like, but like at the same, like, no, that just shows like how bourgeoisified America is.
mm, mm. And so, but when we look at AOC in particular, bro, I don't know. I just have this feeling that she's about to hit that Barack Obama fast track.
She,
And
she already has.
yeah, man.
She
uh,
wants to be she wants to take Chuck Schumer's seat in the Senate. That's what
mm,
she wants. That's what she has her eye on.
mhm,
And then she's going to serve. She wants to serve a couple terms as senator,
mhm.
and then be the first Hispanic woman president of the United States. That's what
Yep.
AOC wants to do,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she is willing. And a lot of the right wing and DSA would be like, oh, let her do what she wants, just so we can say that we have somebody in the White House. Meantime, this lady ain't fucking studying you.
Right. Right.
Like she don't
Right.
give a shit. She literally has Barack Obama's personal cell phone number. She has Joe Biden's personal cell phone number. What the fuck does she want from DSA?
Right.
Her seat is safe.
Right. Right.
Like
So
the like the brother Jamal Bowman, they gerrymandered his ass out.
yeah, man. Yeah.
So they fucked him over. Meantime, AOC, she's safe.
Right. You said a mouthful there because yeah, she's safe. But we saw what happened to Bowman. We saw what happened to Corey Bush. Um.
Rest
Uh.
in power.
You know. But look. So was I fooled when AOC first came on the scene? Because I was like, yo, man, she may really be, for the people, or was this just, or did she get in the game and allow the game to change who she was?
She got in the game and allowed the game to change what she was. Like I think that at one time in her early 20s, she was sincere.
Hmm.
I think at one time she was sincere. Like some people call her a CIA agent or all sorts of shit like this because the left is also very conspiratorial.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think that in her early 20s, when she was like 21, 22, like she actually thought that she was going to be able to maintain whatever ideological principles she had and also be a United States congressperson. I really think she thought that. Like I don't think that she is an intrinsically evil or bad person. I just think that she has been warped and corrupted by the necessities of staying in power. And like a lot of people in DSA talk about building power. What does building power look like?
Hmm.
Like, what do we mean when we say building power? What is power?
Mm.
Huey P. Newton defined power as the ability to identify a phenomenon and make it act in the according manner.
Absolutely.
That's the definition of power that I use.
Hmm.
Basically, making somebody do something that they otherwise would not do if not for your intervention. That's what power is.
Hmm.
So, getting one or two people elected, two of which have been primary, is not building power. AOC cannot do shit by herself. No, like the no. That's a very, very bourgeoisified way to interpret power.
Hmm.
The left can only build power by rooting ourselves in the masses, holding a proletarian revolutionary line devised from our concrete and intentional practice of the mass line, and actually, and not lying to people. Like, we have to stop lying to people. We have to tell people the truth. We cannot tell people. We cannot keep going out telling people that this election is the most important one of your lifetime.
Right.
If you vote for this person, then it's going to be easier. What has happened under Joe Biden's administration? Roe v. Wade has been overturned. They might overturn Obergefell, which gives us the right to gay marriage. You still got school shootings every other week. Hundreds of thousands of people are dead in Palestine. They've literally murdered American citizens in the West Bank, and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have said not a mumbling word.
You see,
AOC has said
my bad, I didn't mean to cut you, but do you see how they've been saying the number is 40,000 for like the past 4 months? Like,
not
what?
40,000. It's between 200,000 and 300,000 people.
Mm.
Hundreds of thousands of people. They've killed almost 1 million people over there with our tax dollars, with
Hmm.
bombs made in Boeing. That's why I'm not all that up on that Boeing strike,
Hmm.
because hundreds of thousands of people have been killed with weapons that you made. Y'all didn't go out on strike. Y'all steady kept making the bombs. Y'all steady kept making bombs, making bombs, making bombs. Now they fuck with y'all money and y'all go out on strike.
Right, 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 right.
Purely trade union consciousness. And
Yeah.
you have idiots on the left that are like, oh, yeah, this is so good. Yay, workers' power, workers' solidarity, comrades.
Hmm.
No, no. So basically, workers' solidarity only for American workers. Meantime, everybody else to get fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why a lot of people said that the American working class has no future, because it's not a real proletariat.
Mm. Mm. What are your thoughts on that? Because I've heard that as well. And also with you know, with a lot of black people and brown people may feel like organizing with white workers will be more of the
A pain in
same.
the ass.
Yeah, yeah, like what are your thoughts?
From my own experience organizing with white people in DSA and various other organizations, some of which I helped found, yes, working with white people is a pain in the ass. Like, I'm basically immune to microaggressions right now,
Mhm.
especially in DSA, because a lot of these people, like, I don't know what type of high school you went to. Like, I went to a majority white high school,
Mhm.
and like,
I,
I'm used to shit like that.
mhm.
Yeah, I was a bust. I was a DSEG kid.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
mine was the opposite. It was probably like four white kids in the whole school.
so Eminem, Paul Wall, Riff Raff, and
Yeah.
Tina Marie.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta blend in when you go to a place like that. You can't come in and look like Poindexter. Yeah, there was probably more thug than the thugs. Anyways, but yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Hmm.
But I think me going to school with white people and dealing with them pretty much my entire life, I think it kind of prepared me for that shit like that. So I'm kind of immune to it. It's still fucking annoying to
Yeah,
go to meetings where I'm the only white black person.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's why I'm still in DSA, because I want to diversify the organization, because this organization, I mean, it's a good group. If it wasn't a good group, I would not still be in it, because I am not a fan of wasting my time. Life is short for a black man in America.
Hmm.
But it's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work that needs to be done. And going back to the issue of, is there a proletariat in the United States? Yes, there is. Like, you've literally got Chicano, Guatemalan, and Salvadoreño uh, migrant workers who are hunched over. Like, they literally make these people stay picking the crops when there's a forest fire.
Mm.
Who picks our lettuce? Who picks our tomatoes?
Right.
Prisoners. That's
Right.
part of the proletariat.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you see
like
that
there,
I guess one McDonald's somewhere just got accused recently of having some inmate program where I guess they're letting inmates out for a 8-hour shift to go work in their McDonald's and obviously not paying them much of anything at all.
that is not surprising.
Yeah. Yeah,
I,
not
I
surprising.
wonder. I wonder when Ray Kroc helped found McDonald's. I wondered if I like this guy probably just thought he was going to found a hamburger stand.
Yeah,
Like I don't think this guy. I don't think this guy knew that he was going to help found one of the most evil corporations in United States history.
Mm,
Like I don't think like all of these businesses like Walmart, McDonald's, Target, like all this shit. It's founded like these were originally started by like people in the 20s and 30s. It's like really really small business. Like I don't. I think they were surprised that these things got as big as they did.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And when you look at that list of the companies that are using um, prison labor to create these products, and you and you, whenever we talk about workers' rights, like I would like for this to be brought up more. What's happening with our inmates, our inmates, and how they're being exploited by the system, and these companies, and how they're benefiting off of this slave labor. Because again, it's more of the same. I think that should be um, absolutely part of the discourse. But whenever you talk about America and the I guess organize now that we've identified that there is a proletariat, how do we organize the proletariat?
You have to go to where the proletariat is. Like how many of these leftists have taken a turn alongside migrant workers helping to pick crops?
Hmm.
How many of these leftists have been to prison?
Right.
How many of these leftists like work at Dollar General? Like you walk into any leftist meeting, you ask them what they do for a living. A lot of teachers, a
Hmm.
lot of computer programmers, a lot of
Hmm.
people that do work from home shit.
Hmm.
A lot of people that I mean, you run into the odd grocery stocker or checkout clerk
Hmm.
every now and then. You run into it's also an increasing presence in organized labor. Like you've got a lot of Teamsters,
Hmm.
which yeah, you've got a lot of you got a lot of SIUE people. Like you got people that are also paid union organizers, which are kind of differentiated from the rank and file because they literally live at the expense of the rank and file. But yeah, by and large, the American left is petty bourgeois in character. So to change that, and honestly, I don't think a lot of these people want to change it. Like they want to continue doing what they're doing. They want to continue having their little book clubs. They want to
Yeah.
continue having their little social. They want to continue having their little socials and drinking parties and barbecues with each other, and until they're like fucking 70 or 80 years old, and then they're like, Jesus Christ, I just wasted my fucking life.
Mm.
Like I started at this shit when I was 20, and now here I am, 80 years old, and there hasn't been a revolution yet. That has to be a miserable fucking way to look back on your life. I don't want to look back on my life the way like that. That's why I go as hard as I do
Right.
because I want to see a revolution in my lifetime. And to see a revolution in my lifetime and in your lifetime, like we have to get our shit together and we have to be serious because we can't keep going through this. We can't have many more Marcellus Williams.
Mm.
We can't have many more Troy. We can't keep going through this shit. Like
No.
so what like what's the plan? What's the strategy? Like, are we going to allow every single Palestinian in Gaza or in the West Bank to be massacred and then put a lovely little land acknowledgement or a plaque? Here once was a group of people. No, I
Mm.
refuse to accept that. I refuse to tolerate that.
Hmm. Sometimes, and I know it's probably my frustration at times, because being in this space can be extremely frustrating at times because the people that you often are attempting to try to help the most, um, in some cases give you the most pushback. But this is a labor of love, and you know what I'm saying? We keep doing it. But the part that frustrates me at times is like with all this stuff that's happening at home, domestically and abroad. It's like, yo, you're not bothered by any of this? Like
A lot of
none
these
of
people, a lot of these people, a lot of these people don't give a shit. Even the people that act like they give a shit don't give a shit.
mm,
They're just saying it because they want to be in group with their friend group, and it's like, okay, I am a leftist. I
Right.
must care about Marcellus Williams. But like, do
Right.
they internally feel what happened to this man? I don't think so.
Right. Right. And I think that's where my frustration comes from because like you, I feel this stuff. It could be, it's sometimes it's intense. You know what I'm saying? It'll keep you up. It'll have your mind racing. I wake up thinking about this. I go to sleep thinking about this. It's a way of life. And uh, when you see when you see the state of the world, and you see people that seem like they don't care, it's just yo, I just don't know how to explain it. I'm like, did did you let this country rob you of your empathy and your heart? Like where like how did you get
Yeah,
here?
yeah. I mean, a lot of white people in the United States, like a lot of these people, especially the Italians and Irish, like they had to go through some shit before they came here. The Irish
Hmm.
were literally starved to death, and the Italians are probably the most communist people in Europe.
Hmm.
But they came here. They put the IWW and they put the Communist Party cards and they put the IRA bombs. They put all that shit in their basement, and they're like, you know what? We're good Americans now.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's how it works. Like they literally offered them, like, okay, you can either be treated like black people, which I don't think you want to happen.
Yeah.
You could be, we could treat y'all like y'all was treated back home,
Hmm.
or you could be part of this thing. We can
Hmm.
make y'all white and we can make y'all rich. A
Yeah.
lot of them took the deal, and those that didn't took the deal, they ended up deported or they ended up dead.
Hmm.
Like they didn't just lynch black folks.
Hmm.
Like they lynched about 20 Italians in New Orleans, I think, in the early 1900s. So yeah, there were still rebel white people here. Blair Mountain, Nottawa, all that. But most of them took the deal. Why? Because people seek the path of least resistance. And if I offer you a kick in the ass or $50,000, you're probably going to take the 50 grand.
Right. Right. You know, not to not to pivot too hard, but did you see? I forgot. I saw the brother mention it yesterday, and I meant to write it down and follow up on the story, but there was just so much going on. But I believe it was a PhD associate professor somewhere who had been, you know, speaking out about the genocide in Gaza, and I'm pretty sure in Africa as well. And they're like they're about to deport him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mamadou Tal.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You
Yeah.
saw it?
Yeah. He's a buddy of mine. Yeah, Cornell. Um, Political reprisal. They're literally about to deport this guy. I believe he's from the Gambia.
Hmm.
They're literally about to deport this guy for no reason because he is suspended as a result of his organizing activity. And as a result, it fucked up his visa. And yeah, now he's facing the possibility of deportation.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of this has also happened to a lot of Arab American students
Hmm.
who do not have full citizenship status yet. So they will literally use your visa to try to make you toe the line. They do this to a lot of migrant workers too that
Hmm.
come from down Mexico and Nicaragua and all these other Central American countries or South American countries. Like they'll literally work the dog shit out of you. But if you try to organize, they'll pull your visa and
Hmm.
they'll kick you out.
Wow.
Of course, many of them just come right back as they should. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
these
But
were
they
their these were their lands before they were
absolutely.
America's. But like,
So
yeah,
so if you let's say you had um some Mexican brothers and sisters came over here, let's say they were in California, right? They got over
mm-hmm.
here, they got visas, and they're doing, they're I guess what you would call agricultural work. Let's say, hey, they start organizing because they're like, yo, we're not getting paid enough for this. Like, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Um,
Oh, they'll
the
just call the landowner will just call the fucking or the landowner will have somebody because ICE will be kind of like, why are you hiring illegal immigrants in the first place?
mm,
But like, yeah, they'll just fix it so that they come get you, arrest you, and send you back home.
wow.
Yeah, that's how they do. That's how they keep their labor force under control. They use you up and then they send the Migra after you. Okay,
Mm,
adios, adios, compañeros.
mm,
That's how they
mm.
do.
Such a
It's
dirty,
slavery.
yeah, 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 such a dirty game. And that's why it kind of pisses me off. Um, Not just with obviously our Mexican brothers and sisters, but uh this whole thing with Haiti. man, I was ready to put some hands on somebody. I was so angry because like seeing seeing I expect that from certain people, but then seeing these weird ass delineation groups begin
Oh
to
yeah,
talk.
FBAs, those
Yeah,
types
like
of weirdos, and they come up with it's like they come up with new shit every week. Like I saw B1, I'm like, what the fuck is a B1? Is that a new visa category that means black first?
yeah.
But like this shit has to be the feds.
It is
Like
the feds, bro. It is
I do
like
not like this shit was not around. This shit was not around when Malcolm was around.
nah,
Like everybody back then, everybody was black, regardless of whether you were from Grenada, Jamaica, Ghana, or the United States.
facts.
So like all of this shit, part of it is because people are too online. Like there's a
Hmm.
bunch of people, all they do is spend all day arguing. Like people are mad, like you're dick riding Arabs. So like, why are you spending all day arguing with the handful of racist Arabs online in the first place? Of
Right.
course, you're gonna have a bad view of Arabs. Like you haven't talked to a single Palestinian. You haven't talked to anybody that's actually has our back. Of course, you spend your day arguing with the motherfuckers that own the gas station up the street.
And they use that one to represent all, right? That but
Yeah,
that's the same that's the same thing that's done to us here. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like they
Um
don't differentiate. Like they don't differentiate between Haitians and Jamaicans. And oh
nah.
no, shit. They even sometimes they even confuse us for Samoans.
Yeah. But look, JD Vance was like, yo, it doesn't matter if they're here legally. They're illegal aliens. I think that lets us all know exactly how they feel, right? Like, how, first off, that term illegal alien is like some of the most racist,
Mm-hmm.
you know, racist terminology you could ever use to define a human. And people in America just eat that shit up and they, oh, he's not one of us, right? It's like, um, but the idea that he can say it doesn't matter if they have citizenship here, they're still illegal.
Yeah,
Like,
JD Vance is really plugged into a lot of that griper, and he's a Catholic convert. Like every
mhm.
Catholic convert that converted to Catholicism as an adult, everybody like that I've met has been an absolutely horrible person.
Why
Now
you,
people that
I wonder why that is, man.
like people that were raised Catholic, they tend to be pretty cool. But like
Mhm,
people that converted, like I think JD Vance converted when he was like 19 or something.
mhm.
And like they always have this right wing trad calf bullshit. Like some of them even believe that the Pope isn't the real Pope. They're called sedevacantists. They basically believe that because of Vatican II, that was a heresy and we should go
Mm.
back to the way things were done before the 40s and the 50s. I went to a Catholic university, so I know all this dumb shit. But yeah, I've never been Catholic though. I think I would fall. I've been to one mass in my lifetime,
I
like
have
one
too,
mass,
just
and
once. Yeah.
I fell asleep. I fell asleep in the middle of it.
Nah, I felt
Like all
weird.
that.
I was like, this. I
Yeah,
was like, I can't do
this
this.
is a yeah. Well, like when's the part? When did they finish sacrifice my ass?
Yeah, facts. That's how I felt. I
Yeah, all the
because you,
regnum regnum dominum
yeah.
et spirit
I had I was
et
young.
filii et patri et spiritus sancti. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh cool.
yeah, I was a kid. I think I had like we had like the football team or something that spent the night at this one kid's house, and next day I was like, yeah, never again. But
Oh,
yeah,
they made y'all go to church with them.
yeah, yeah, you know how that is. But that yeah, that this whole idea of our Haitian brothers and sisters, and I do everything I can to continue to strive to show, hey, that's just an online fringe group. You'll never meet an FBA or B1 or any of these people in real life when it comes to black people that have a life outside of the internet. We'll always view ourselves as one people, and like if you look at things from a genetic level, many of many African Americans have male sex chromosome E1B1A, and so do Haitians. Like we are literally the same people, just a different boat ride. We probably have a little bit more admixture here because of obvious reasons, but we are literally the same people. And it's crazy how some black people can become so patriotic for a nation that views them as a problem. Like when Du Bois and them talked about the Negro problem, yeah, it's still here. Like they don't know what to do with us, right? And like, how can you be so patriotic on a nation to a nation that has the history that it has? Not only that, but in present day, treats you as if you are a problem. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just dumb. They're delusional, and uh, one way that you know that America is fucked is that they're actually trying to extend some of the benefits of whiteness to Black Americans now.
Mm.
Like you see Trump, oh yeah, you guys are Americans. You were the first Americans after the Indians,
Yeah.
and we go back a ways. As a matter of fact, I tell people this story a lot.
Mhm.
When I was a kid, I was like, shit, I can't even remember, like 15, 16 years old. It was after my mom got out of prison. Anyways, um, we had this white plumber, old Polish dude, came to my house, and the subject somehow got to illegal immigrants. And this guy literally told my mom that that I would much rather have the blacks over here because at least you guys speak English. We need to get rid of all these Mexicans.
Hmm.
So whenever I hear like black people saying stuff like that and teaming up with like basically if you're an FBA or you're a B1 or a Sulan or whatever stupid shit you decide to make up for yourself, like you're basically in bed with the Klan.
Yeah.
Like that's how the Klan talks.
Yeah.
And once they finish with the Mexicans and the Asians and the Haitians, who is their oldest enemy?
They go,
Us.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're their oldest enemy. We were the people they were literally founded to deal with. So if you think that the Klan has changed or you could build some type of unity with these racist ass white boys, it's not gonna work. You're gonna
Nah.
be you basically they fatten you up for the kill. Or they
Yeah.
want to use you, they want to use you as a mercenary to get rid of what they see as the one thing you have to
See,
remember about
that's
these
what it
folks.
is. They're using them as mercenaries to do their dirty
Yeah.
work. That's exactly what it is.
Yep. And what always happens to mercenaries? Either they take over the country, like happened with Rome, or they get slaughtered.
Yeah, and this will be hogs fattened for the slaughter, my brother.
I'm already fat enough as it is.
Black Red Guard, man. It's always a pleasure to build with you, my brother. Um, let everybody know where they can find your show. I watch all the time. It's definitely something that you guys need to be putting in your I guess your news rotation. Definitely great commentary. But let everybody know where they can find you, bro.
Or you can find me at Black Red Guard One on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. I am at Black Red Guard on YouTube, and I am at OG Black Red Guard on Twitch.
So
That's
let
where you
me
can find me.
let me ask you before we go. What do you being on YouTube, uh, but also being on Twitch? What do you feel like the benefits are for Twitch, for streaming on Twitch and YouTube?
Well, it has a more diverse audience.
Hmm.
Most of the people that have been following me for a while, they met me on YouTube.
Hmm.
I only started Twitch streaming last year. Yeah, it's a lot easier. Just trying to broaden out into a wider audience and streaming on Twitter. That's actually where I get most of my viewers from now.
Really?
Yeah, I
Nice,
have like
nice.
I have 32,000 Twitter followers. So yeah,
Yeah.
most of them say, "Oh, let's see what BRG's crazy ass is talking about right now." So
No,
yeah,
no, seriously, I got your, I got the notification bell. It's only like four or five channels I do that for, and you're definitely one of them. So I appreciate
okay,
what you're doing, man, and it's always great commentary. So again, thank you for coming through, brother.
likewise.
All right, till the next time, man. You have a good one.
You too.
Peace.